Alrighty. And I'm live. Right up, there we go. It's kind of funny. It's kind of dark screen and it brightens up. Welcome to MacBean Scottish Fitness. Sunday breakfast chat. I'm going to make pancakes. Every now and then. Mama wants pancakes. So it's something that we do maybe once a month. Not often. But we do it. So with the pancakes, they don't take that long to mix. And once you get everything mixed, you kind of want to start pouring it on there. I do have a nice surface on my new stove. It has a griddle that you just set on top. I really like that. But first, we'll start getting the meat going because it takes, sausage takes a little bit longer. So what I'll do is I'll put a couple pieces of bacon in there because, well, bacon is always a good thing. Thanks for joining in. Thanks for the thumbs up. Good morning, Ethan. We're having a wonderful Sunday. So I've been watching track and field design TV right now. Don't get to see that very often. And it's kind of like motivates me to stay in the track mode. I also relocated my pull-up bar. I'm kind of excited about that. And that one I can just lock into the doorway and do that before I go to bed. I'll probably make a short video of me doing that today. Yeah, let's get the thing. We're going to make 2 big patties. One for me, one for Mama. There we go. A lot of times this is what we use for biscuits and gravy too. Now I try to have Mama make the biscuits and gravy. Here we go. So we got the meat slowly starting to cook. I'm gonna wash my hands. Try to keep the hands clean throughout the cooking process. Thanks for joining in. Feel free to enter chat, ask any questions, all that good stuff. So I have my pure maple syrup. So I no longer use the your log cabins or your Aunt Jemima's or your Mrs. Butterworth, because those are really not good for you. As the Canadians call it, maple syrup from a telephone pole. I got my Fairlife Belt. The Enhance, I have Bisquick. That's what's in here, Bisquick. I have baking powder. I got vanilla extract. I do have my 1 egg that pop in there. They usually make about a half batch. It's just Mama and I. I also have honey, which I'm running hot water through it right now to kind of reconstitute it. Honey can last, pure honey can last forever. And what I do is it'll get that kind of opaque look, almost, like it's going back to beeswax. And what you can do is you can nuke it. We've done that before. Veritas Veteran, good morning. Seen you yesterday on Shadows, Scott Swede's channel. We were talking about taking care of tools, which a lot of times you lack, and then you end up having to buy them again. But I did like the way you brought up, and it's something I didn't think about, is if you're putting lubricant on your knives and you're using that knife, like I gut deer, I just, just all of a sudden they go, wow, yeah, you're getting WD-40 or 321 oil in your food. I don't know how edible WD-40 or 3-in-1 oil is, but I didn't think of it that way. So you might want to clean your knife with maybe just soap and water and rinse it off well before you sit there and brush your wildlife. Let me see. Your own body, yeah, this is true. I see a lot of people who spend a lot of time taking care of material things and spend little time taking care of themselves. So hydration, number one, is key. This is water. I use these bottles as water bottles because glass is better for you. And water will stay longer in a glass bottle than stainless steel. So that's why I do that. Got my mixing bowl. The way I do is I put the dry stuff in first and get that mixed in, and then I'll start putting the other instants in there. So I utilize this for storage for the Bisquick. So what I'll do is I'll probably empty this out in here afterwards. Now look at it, says 2 cups of Bisquick. It's just the wife and I, so I only do 1 cup. I just 2 cups to make more pancakes than we're going to eat. And it's one of those things where we don't do much on and I won't make it kind of an over full cup. You put that in there. So I do kind of a half batch. And what I'll do is I'll cut this directions out and I'll tape it onto this bucket. But probably afterwards I'll probably empty this into here. And I use this for long-term storage. So I'm making pancakes, bacon, and sausage. Those are kind of our let's eat some sweets. Now, I use pure maple syrup on my pancakes, and I use unfiltered raw honey for my sugar sources. Mrs. uses Mrs. Butterworth. So when you look at what's in your store syrup, I had to get my glasses for this. So let's see what's in our Mrs. Butterworth. See if I can read this. All right. High fructose corn syrup. That is like the worst sugar you can get. Contains 2% or less of cellulose gum, salt, cane syrup, caramel, color, sodium hexametaphosphate, sodium benzoate, potassium sorbate, those are preservatives, natural and artificial flavors. So that's what the wife is eating. Good morning, sweetie.
Good morning.
We'll look at pure maple syrup. Ingredients: pure maple syrup. No sodium metaphosphate, no sodium benzoate, no potassium, blah, blah, blah. It contains pure maple syrup, and that's it. Nutrition facts: 110 calories, 0 fat, 0 sodium, 27 grams of carbohydrates, which you need, and 24 grams of sugar. But it's a maple sugar. It's a pure sugar. It's better for you. Does it taste different? Yep. I did get used to it, and now I prefer it. So it used to be where I always had the regular syrups, and that's what I had. But now I do the pure maple syrup and honey. What I'm doing, I'm just soaking honey in hot water to get it to reconstitute. So, mix milk, eggs, and to enhance it, we can add sugar to it, make it sweeter. But I got sugar in the syrup. Baking powder, vegetable oil, and vanilla extract. Well, I don't use the vegetable oil. I do use butter instead. And then what I'll do is I'll kind of pre-melt it. And here's where you gotta be real careful, because it doesn't take long to go from soften to boiling. And now I'm going to put my bacon and my sausages over. Let's see what we got going on here, because I do like to have a two-way chat here. I avoid anything sweet until the weekends. And it's natural like honey. Yep, so I have honey and I have maple syrup, pure maple syrup. Understand the store-bought maple syrup that you're buying doesn't have any maple involved in it. You should almost call it false advertising. Because Mrs. Butterworth's doesn't have maple syrup.
Yeah.
Huh? Does not have any maple syrup in it, honey. They're lying to you.
Like sugar.
Corn fructose, not even sugar. That's even worse. So the baking powder is pretty much in there just to kind of help it rise. We don't need a lot of it. I think it called for 2 teaspoons. Yes, 2 teaspoons. So because it's a half batch, I only need 1. So this goes a long way. Also, when you're thinking about prepping, this is a good way to prep sugar. Your body does need sugar, and these last a very long time. I got about 10 of these downstairs. I never worry about running out. So I'm not going to put the sugar in there. They'll didn't have to. So the next thing we're doing is going to be some of the wet stuff, and I don't want to put the wet stuff in too soon. I want to let the sausage kind of get done before I start mixing stuff up. So an egg will go in there, about a half cup of milk, some vanilla extract will also go in there. And that just kind of enhances it. The main one, all it's called, is for biscuit, eggs, and milk. So we're adding a little bit more flavor to it. Another thing you put in there is lemon juice. Sometimes people put a teaspoon of lemon juice in there to kind of help with the flavor too. It's all good stuff. Got that going. That's the only bad thing I really use is Pam, but it helps with the cooking. So what I do is now let me get the grill going. So I have this grill attachment that goes on my oval burner. And so I'll get that going for a little bit so I get a nice even stripe there. Target protein per meal is anywhere from 30 to 50 grams of protein. That's my target. And then I try to have at least 4 to 5 meals a day. So a lot of times, by this time I'll already have this will be my second meal for most time. Now my day has shifted because of my job. So whereas I would usually be getting up, probably around 6:30, I've shifted about 2 hours because I don't get home until almost midnight. And even on my weekends, on my days off, I still want to try and keep that sleep schedule. Otherwise, it's going to throw me off during the week. So usually I'll have breakfast, I'll have a lunch, then I'll have 3 meals at work. All right, 2 light meals, 1 heavy meal. I'll throw snacks in between there. I've got a garden full of vegetables. Probably have a big salad before I leave, or I'll take one with me because I just have so much lettuce out there I need to harvest. But generally 30 to 50 grams of protein per meal. Anything over 50 grams, you're probably just passing it through. And when I say probably, you're passing it through. So bacon gets done first, and then the sausage needs to stay in there a little bit longer. Make sure it gets cooked. So now it's probably a good time to start mixing all the what I call the wet elements here. And it doesn't have to be an exact science. So it's a vanilla, pure vanilla extract. So was that in there? Try to keep my glasses up here. Or put them away there. I'll have to read that next time. But it should be pure vanilla. I try to stay with pure items. 1 egg. So the egg is adding protein. And this is a jumbo egg, so that's 8 grams. The milk, a half a cup is going to be about 7 grams. Should add butter in there. So you got like 15 grams in there. Bisquick has 3 grams. That's about, we'll call it 1.5. So about 16 grams. So there's 8 grams a piece. The sausages are about 6 each. So there's 13 grams. Bacon 3 is 16 grams, and then the milk I'll drink will give me another 20 grams. So I'll get about 33 grams of protein in this meal. Not bad. Now, let's mix it all up. La-da-da, la-da-da-da. What do we get? The larger our, I'll have to read, I'll get closer to read that. Can't quite read it yet. Another thing when you get older, I'll have to install a big screen TV in here that I can hook up to so that I can read everything. Have a second table and have I've got a bunch of extra TVs, and then I'll be able to read the comments better. Things that happen when you get older, what are you going to do? I do have it. Yeah, plenty of the extra materials here. So yeah, I think that's a pretty good mix. Sometimes you have to add a little bit of milk, but I think this is going to work out pretty good. Now, the more you blend it, the better the consistency. Yeah, you don't want chunks. Flour chunks don't taste very well. Fairness, Bedger, I'll get you your comments here in a minute. I just can't see them good enough to read them accurately. I need just a pigeon more, and I need a pigeon more milk. Just a little bit. Alrighty. I'm going to try to put stuff away as I'm using it. Alright, now I do have whisk. I could have done the same thing with a whisk. This takes a little bit longer. Let me catch up here now. The older we get, the longer our arms have to be to read things. Yeah, that's true. Absolutely. Yeah, 30 to 40 per meal, 4 to 5 times. That's perfect. I'm on 1+5. Reading these days. Yeah. So that, and when I was reading the ingredients, that's what I had. I had the safety glasses. I have the they have the magnifier built right into them. All right. So let's see how this works out. Okay. I got them on the, oh, you can see it too. I'll just turn the sausages one more time. And so you let them cook, I tend to try to get the heat just right. Right now I'm at a very low medium. Yeah, it was. Good morning. Thanks for joining in. Thanks for the thumbs up. Appreciate it. Just and aside from waiting for the pancakes to cook is got myself a bale fan. And what I use this for mostly is weather information. This gives me more accurate information than the internet or TV. So I really get a good idea of what the weather is going to be. And they're probably the most accurate and up to date. So always keep a couple of these handy. It's also a two-way and a high power I communicate with the wife. We're probably about 2 miles away. You know, and they say 30-mile range, they're kidding themselves. Unless you have repeaters, it ain't happening. Yep, upgraded the battery and the antenna. Yep. The battery was a huge upgrade. I mean, it lasts a long time. Not because I don't use it very often. I only get charges like maybe once a year. So yeah, I did upgrade the batteries. I did upgrade the antenna. There we go. I have a new spatula. And the whole idea is you're trying to wait the perfect amount of time to get everything to cook through. You don't want to have the griddle too hot. Because it is too hot, then you just burn it, and you burn it, and then it's kind of raw in the middle. So one of the things, pancakes is probably one of the more challenging meals to get right. You know, eggs and bacon and sausage and vegetables, you know, and that's all easy stuff. So pancakes, you're mixing everything together, you're trying to get the consistency right. And you want to get the flip right. Sometimes when I flip it, it kind of goes off to the left or right. So I'm like, okay, let's get it right this time. So that one, yeah, I think that one, I had it on just about the perfect amount of time. It's a nice tan to brown on there. I know you can't see that from there, but a lot of times if you flip it, it's still very light tan, and you know you didn't leave it on there long enough for it to actually get cooked through. So today is kind of our fun junk food breakfast because of the pancakes. So like I said, on my end, I'm using natural things. I'm trying to make it as healthy as possible. But you got to have fun sometimes. You can't have a diet 24/7. It's not going to work. So Sunday is usually the day when I'm going to make pancakes. Give me a lot of calories. One thing though with maple syrup and honey, I don't get that sugar burnout an hour later, where I used to get it with this all the time. Perfect. Happy with the flips. The flips, yay! And let's shut that burner off because I believe those sausages are done. And the whole time I had the raw honey in hot water. And we're doing that to get it to reconstitute. And honey and maple syrup on pancakes is good, in my opinion. Right, and you have to slack it off on the weekends. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. And now the trick is make sure I get these cooked just right. And the first batch I'll let Mama have. Here, in fact, I'm going to set her up over here. She doesn't like to be in limelight. I know what she likes. Now it's like you kind of get a feel of it. Am I waiting long enough? Is it going to be the right amount of time? Don't want to undercook it. Don't want to overcook it. Oh yeah. The arm throwing going, or AM throwing going. AM, I have to get my glasses now. So the throwing's going well. I think that's like perfect. Oh man. I'm telling you. Ooh, that smells so good. Well, there is Mama's breakfast. Look at that. Now I'm gonna cook my pancakes. I am injury free. Baby, you can come set it. I got it over here so you can set up.
I got it.
And then I can cook mine. I'll have 2 pancakes.
Wow.
I'm liking the way it turned out. All right, let's get the last 2 here. Alrighty.
John, can I have a knife and a fork? There might be some on the string.
There you go. Mm-mm-mm. So yeah, well, even though it's been getting a lot of rain, I'm still probably gonna go throw this morning because the road will be dry, and the disc won't skip as much because if it hits the dirt, it'll just like sink in. Yeah, all movements, arm throwing's going well. My next meet is September in Illinois, so that's really close. And my goal will be to take the gold there. Depends who shows up. But last year I got the gold, but there wasn't a lot of distance between us. I mean, silver was maybe 4 feet shorter, and bronze was maybe 2 foot shorter than that. So it was very, very competitive field, which I enjoy. I really don't want to go to a meet and just, I'm the only guy and I'm beating everybody by 20 feet. Like the gold place winner felt at Nationals. I'm sure he was okay with it. But that was another reason I wanted to go there is I really wanted to see better throwers than me and kind of get an idea, okay, what do I need to do to improve? So, the only way you get better is you compete against people who are better than yourself. And practice. You've got the strength, just refine the technique a bit more. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, technique is where it's at. I got to get my spin smoother. It has improved, though. When I'm looking at how I'm throwing now versus how I was throwing at the beginning of the year, I do feel that it's much improved. Even though I'm not, maybe every practice I don't get one out there 140 feet plus, but what I'm doing is I'm seeing most of them fall into 130. And then I want them falling in 135 and then falling in. So, that's really how you get better is you get that consistency going. All right, so let's move the meat up a little bit. Let's pre-set for the pancakes. I always do a lower level of maple syrup. And then we're going to coat the next one and the next one and the next one. And we'll give it about a minute or two. I think it's not ready to be flipped yet. And then the honey, the whole time we've been soaking it in hot water as to get it to constitute a little bit better. Now, you can also nuke it, and that'll do it too. But I try to do it without the microwave, if all possible. Now I think I'm ready for it. There, that's good. So you're looking at the bubbles, and when the bubbles are coming up, you want to start seeing some of them pop, and that kind of tells you when it's time to flip the pancake over. So, oh, we got somebody else joining in here. Thanks for the thumbs up. Grenade Launcher, good morning. How we doing? Good to see you. Remember, hit the thumbs up, all that YouTube-y stuff. I appreciate it. Making pancakes. Bacon, sausage, and pancakes. Then we covered the ingredients of pure maple syrup versus your store-bought syrup. Pure maple syrup has one ingredient, pure maple syrup. That's all it is. Your store-bought has many preservatives, has high fructose corn syrup, has some cane sugar. The one thing that it does not have is maple syrup. So they're making maple syrup without the maple. They'll say some natural flavors, but that means they can put a cup of maple syrup in a vat, 3,000 gallons, and say, well, it has maple syrup. So I really didn't know that. I thought maybe it would have maple syrup in it, but it doesn't have maple syrup. It's flavorings and preservatives. Just things are not that great for you. So I've got bacon, sausage, 2 pancakes. I'll have a glass of Fairlife milk. And that'll get me probably around 33 to 35 grams of protein for breakfast. Now, when I do eggs for breakfast, and the protein is obviously higher. But every now and then, it's nice to have something different. Thanks for the thumbs up. Appreciate it. And thanks for popping in on your Sunday. We went to a little town celebration yesterday, and they had some old tractors out there, which I thought I was filming the tractors. And it seemed like I ended up filming the ground mostly. And that was on my Farms and Preppy channel. Then they had a 1957 Chevy Bel Air. That one I put on this channel. That was sweet. If I ever win the lottery, that is on the list. But I have to win the lottery, but I'm not going to spend that type of money that you would have to on something that's I really don't need. Want? Yes. Need? Not so much. Anticipation. So I do appreciate you popping in here. And our last live stream, we had a little fun with Ray and Michael. Ray did the $5 super chat, so I had to take my shirt off. And Michael gave me $5 towards a shot put, so I ordered a shot put. I have one on the way. So next week, we got, I think July 24th is supposed to show up. So sometime after the 24th, then I will be doing shot put also. And that's what I'm doing in the next Olympics is shot put and discus. And then I got Larry Williams, who's from Naperville. Want me to do javelin also. I'm like, well, let's get it down one at a time. But I might play around with it, who knows. So here's some raw honey. So honey, besides being a really good form of sugar, it's also very healthy for you, healthy for your immune system. I mean, there's just so many benefits to it. More maple. Here we go. I didn't know if I was going to use it all. I do like a lot of syrup on my pancakes, so I brought my reserve out here. So stay hydrated. This is water. Good nutrition. Good exercise. Have fun. Go outside. Enjoy the weather. After my live stream, of course. And keep a positive mental attitude. Remember, good exercise also helps your mental health. So everybody, have a wonderful day. I'm going to sit down now and eat me some breakfast. And thanks for joining in.